who say, oh, you're pretty for a dark skinned girl. But the fact that she goes, you're really pretty to be a dark skinned girl, I thought about it. I'm like, nah. I told her straight up, that's not a compliment. That's really like a backhanded compliment. It's not a compliment at all.
Hey people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is a very interesting video as always. So this video is a video of a dark-skinned woman who is striking a big conversation for dark-skinned girls to talk about. So this lady came online to talk about how she was in a hotel and she was about checking out, and another black woman looked at her and told her, you know what, you are beautiful for a black skin girl. And she felt like that was a backhanded compliment, and she told her straight up, like, you know what does that mean? That's not a compliment for me. And the black woman that was complimenting her for being a beautiful black woman, dark skinned woman, decides, like, you know what, no, what I mean is that you are beautiful as a dark-skinned woman. And she was like, she didn't see that type of thing as a compliment. That is a backhand compliment. She doesn't appreciate when people in 2024 still consider and embedded in their head that dark skin is not that beautiful. And this has struck a whole bigger conversation and has gotten people to talk and share their story. So let's go hear what the sister have to say and her own story, what happened. Then we'll come back and talk more.
Y'all, I really want people to have some sense. Here I am checking in at a hotel, and the lady who's checking me in goes, you're really pretty to be a dark-skinned girl. And I literally made a video about this a couple of days ago. And usually I don't say anything. I just say, oh, thank you, like to people who say, oh, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl. But the fact that she goes, you're really pretty to be a dark-skinned girl, I thought about it. I'm like, nah. I told her straight up, that's not a compliment. That's really like a backhanded compliment. It's not a compliment at all. She's like, yeah, I'm just saying, like, to be dark like you're really pretty. You saying it again in a different way doesn't make it better. And I told her, that's not a compliment. Like, that to me sounds like a colorist statement. You're basically implying that just being pretty isn't associated with being dark skinned. Like, it's two separate things. And I was like, that's not a compliment. Like, at this point, just check me in. You know, I told her it's a colorist statement. It's not a compliment. I'm not taking this. It's 2024. Wake the up. And what really baffles me, what really got on my nerve the most, was the fact that she was an actually black woman. Like, do you not realize how stupid your statement sounds? How stupid you think you're saying a compliment, but it's actually not a compliment. It's 2024. We just started the year. It's the first day of the year, bro. Please, guys, please, if you want to give a compliment to a dark-skinned woman, do not mention her skin color. If you want to mention, like, whether her skin is nice or whatever, yeah. But to be like, you're pretty to be a dark-skinned girl, or for somebody your skin color, you're pretty, like, what the does that even mean? Like, you guys sound like a idiot. That just got me so like, how the do you think that that's okay? Man goes, you're really pretty to be a dark-skinned girl.
When I first moved to America, I remember a girl telling me, you're so pretty. What are you mixed with? And at the time, I was very young. I was a teenager, and I didn't understand that language, that dialect. Like, what does that mean? What does mix mean? I was confused by that. And then another time, I've had a friend's like, you are beautiful. Is your dad white? I was like, why do I have to be mixed or something different than black in order to be pretty, in order to be beautiful, in order for my skin to be glowing? I'm just black.
You're really pretty to be a dark-skinned girl. And I literally made a
everything that young lady just said in her video is absolutely correct. You know, people think that they're just giving compliments, but you really have to challenge your internalized beliefs and your internalized feelings about people. By saying someone is pretty for a dark-skinned person, you're really devaluing dark-skinned people as a whole. It's not just about this one person. She is not pretty in spite of her dark skin. She's a beautiful woman, but you have to challenge that internalized colorism. You know, colorism is rooted in racism, and it's seen in all groups of people where color, there's a lot of color variation. Indians, Black Americans, you've seen a lot of discussions like this on this app. And it's just really important that you're challenging why you value dark skin less than. And so when you see somebody that kind of goes against that internalized feeling that you have, why you feel that. I read a good book about this years ago in undergrad, The Color Complex, and it just talks about how color really affects people across the spectrum of their life, in their romantic options, jobs, sentencing for jail. And it's not just a surface level throwaway comment if you think someone's pretty or not. It really is a devaluing of an entire group of people based on their skin color, something that they cannot control. And so if you want to pay someone a compliment, you should just do that. Someone can just be pretty, but they're not pretty in spite of. What makes her beautiful is everything. Her skin, her face, everything. And this is a common thread that you'll hear from people with just darker skin tones, and you really should just really be challenging yourself, because it really is unacceptable to not read and be aware of all of the isms that affect us in our daily life. But classism, racism, colorism are all very big things, and it just goes down to how you treat people and how you value them. And when you're telling somebody that, oh, you are this, despite you are devaluing all others that look like them.
Goes, you're really pretty to be a dark-skinned girl. And I
Baby, queen, it is 2024 and this is to end now. The next time an ignorant person tells you something like that, you respond and say it right back to their ass. If somebody tell you, oh, you pretty for a dark-skinned girl, you say, oh, and you're pretty for a girl with some big eyes. Oh, you're pretty for a light-skinned girl because... oh, you're pretty for a girl that works at a hotel desk. Oh, you're pretty for a girl with no hair. You're pretty for a bald head girl. Y'all, you gotta start send it right back to their ass. I'm telling you. Oh, you're pretty for a white girl. Oh, you wherever they is, baby, find the most. Say anything. Or find the most unpleasant feature about them. Because a lot of people, they be saying it, don't even be cute, they do themselves. So you gotta, baby, hit them where it hurt. Oh, you pretty for a girl with gap teeth. Oh, you pretty for a girl with uneven eyebrows. Eat them up. Eat them up, sis. We done with the ignorance. You're a beautiful queen, period. Okay, this is the last one. Oh, you pretty for a girl with dry, crackly skin. Oh, you pretty for a girl with them dry, shriveled up lips. Okay. Oh, you, baby. I'm telling you. Eat them. Eat them up.
You're really pretty to be a dark-skinned girl.
Before I make this video, I obviously want to acknowledge my privilege in this moment that I'm a light-skinned woman talking about this subject. The woman who I stitched is a beautiful black woman who is getting checked into a hotel. Another black woman tells her that you're really pretty to be a dark-skinned girl, and then has the nerve to proceed to try to switch around and basically repeat herself. Like, and the creator is like, it's 2024, like, can we stop doing this, right? I also come to this conversation as somebody who studies women's intersectionality studies, specifically black feminism, black women, the struggles of black women, all of the above. The struggles of black women and all of the above. So last year in 2023, I found out that I was having a baby. I have employment background where I've had to work with children who have had behavioral issues. And I've learned how to communicate with children and get on their level and learn to control myself and not put my hands on my kids, right? Well, on the kids that I was watching. So I was still like curious in my own mind, like what would be the reason that I actually put my hands on my child? And I had the thought that if it was a girl, because I didn't know if it was a girl or a boy, and I did find out it was a girl, and if she's light skinned, and if I ever find out that she has participated in any colorist conversation or colorist acts that will be the day I put my hands on her. Because, like I said, I study black women. This child, since before I even saw the ultrasound, has heard the first ultrasound, has heard me in conversations. Probably didn't hear me, but she and me has heard conversations about the struggles of black women, featuring conversations with scholars of like the Audre Lorde sorts and Alice Walker sorts. And I would have to look at her like she's crazy, because you from birth, right? And I don't plan on stopping. Like right now she's listening to me talk about this, right? Like from birth, you've heard me talk about all the struggles of black women or black people. And you thought it was okay to align yourself with the oppressor? That would be the day she gets hands put on her, a lecture. She will have to write a paper, PowerPoint, essay, all the things. Because what it's giving is, because you think you're in the house, you're no longer a slave. And that's not what we do. I don't even hang around light-skinned people who think that because they're light-skinned, they're better, or they're cute because they're light-skinned. And I'm not gonna let my child have that either. We're not walking around with that mentality. And to drive this point home, I mean it when I say you don't have to put your hands on your kid to like discipline them and stuff like that. Like I don't plan on whooping my kids. Like I just don't. But this thing is a hard issue to me. Like this will be a core memory for her. Like she will be 20 years old at HBCU sitting in the cab with her friends. And if somebody say some stuff like that, somebody say something, her ears perk up, she can be like, look, my mama gave me a whooping when I was in 6th grade, because I figure 6th grade is when you like start feeling yourself and start like doing things you opposite of how you was raised, right? She gonna have to walk away because we don't use our powers for evil. As somebody who knows that they have light skin privilege in this world, I'm going to teach my child that if you have a particular privilege, whether that be light skin privilege, able-bodiedness, you're skinny, etc., like you're not going to use your powers for evil. You're going to use your powers for good. And if I find out that you're using your powers for evil, that's when we're going to have a problem.
I really want people to have some sense. Here I am checking in at a hotel.
Watching this video brought back a lot of memories that I kind of try to bury. And I'm like, wow. I remember when I moved out here in 2015 to America, and I was in high school, and this one girl, she said, you're very pretty for a dark skin. And I didn't know how to process that because I'd never had anyone compliment me like that before. I don't know, people just said you're just pretty, or you're beautiful. And so I was like, oh, thank you. And I think she could tell from my face, because I can't hide my emotions with my face. So she was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, just because, like, being African, I just don't know what you would, like, look like. And I was like, huh? I was like, what do you mean? And, then we got into the whole people's perception of how Africans look and how Africa is, this and that. But then another encounter I had with that same compliment, or a backhanded compliment, was in high school again. This was my senior year. And one of the girls that we kind of knew of each other, but we weren't like friends or nothing. We were in gym class, and she was like, after really looking at you, you're really pretty. You're prettier than I thought. Has anyone ever told you that? Like, you're really prettier than I thought you would be. And mind you, we're not friends. So I was just like, I thought you would be? Like, what does that mean? I'm like, did y'all think I was ugly before and I just got pretty? And so she was just like, explaining that, just really looking at me. And the thing is, people really think that explaining is going to help the situation, when the statement at first was just really wrong. It was insensitive and just rude. And so they think going more into explaining why they thought what they thought and said what they said would help soften the blow or the delivery of their statement. But half the time it doesn't. Sometimes it's just better not to say anything and just keep your compliments or your opinions to yourself. But that was really my first introduction to hearing statements like that. And me now, because I've heard that later on too in life, in college and workspaces, people just tend to yap, and it's especially within the Black community, we all just tend to do that. Colorism is a really big issue and deal within the Black community that always and often needs to be addressed. And I think because of my own past experiences with colorist statements, that was why I was so into activism in college, where we did different stuff, where we educated people on colorism, on oppression, on different things like that. But I'm happy that she was able to tell that lady like that was wrong, because a lot of times we just tend to bottle it up or just like, okay. When in all honesty, no, I don't appreciate your compliment. I don't think that was nice. And I'm gonna tell you why I think your compliment or your backhanded compliment is bullshit. People need to be told when they hurt your feelings, because you don't tell them, some of them will not know. And it's just better for you anyway in the long run. I'm happy, and I hope that more people who experience such backhanded compliments are able to stand up for themselves and tell people that I do not appreciate that. That point is the same thing as just saying I'm ugly. And another thing that I was going to add, I just never understood the whole concept of, you know, denoting someone's beauty or deriving someone's beauty from their skin complexion. I've always looked at the way a person's facial features are, their health, their habits, everything like that. Bone structure is what I use to identify if I think I'm attracted to someone, not the color of their skin. So that's why I've never understood the whole, oh, you're pretty for a dark skin. Oh, you're pretty for a light skin. It doesn't make sense to me. Just say you think someone is beautiful because they're just beautiful. Yeah. You don't have to go too much into why you think they're so beautiful. It's not that serious. But no, yeah, I have a lot of stories like that. And if you guys want, we can like for part 2 and I can tell you a rundown of my college experience with colorism. But no, it's something that needs to be talked about more. And I'm happy that we're starting to see, because a lot of people think colorism does not exist, especially within the Black community, and it does. And the people who say they don't exist, they know, they just don't want to live in that reality. They don't want to have to deal with it. But yeah, let's see what you guys have to say, and I hope everyone has a great day.
Who's checking man goes, you're really pretty to be a dark skinned girl.
So to the beautiful woman in that video, you are gorgeous and divine. You are literally one of God's favorites. My problem is within the comments. I'm stitching this because this ain't even my normal thing. Like, I might do this to somebody in person, but to come on here in this internet, y'all are so irritating, because every woman that tried to rebuttal my comment was lighter skinned. Listen, I'm not mulatto. I'm not ambiguous. When you see me, you know I'm coming from the African diaspora, period. But I am a lighter skinned Black woman, which means there is a privilege to have a lighter skin. And I'm going to use it by any means necessary to protect women that are darker than me, period. Y'all in the comments telling me this woman shouldn't be fired. My same question to all of you were, if she was white, would you feel the same way? Would you care more? Not one of you could answer it. Not one of you lighter skinned heifers could answer. I'm confused. All y'all said was, it ain't that serious. You reaching. She just needs to be educated. Educated about what? Something she already knows? You see, the problem is, if she said that with ease and at work to this Black woman, y'all go back and watch the whole video. But if she said what she said with ease and on the clock, that means she's also carrying that same spirit within our community. Meaning any little girl, any little boy she sees that's darker skinned, she's subconsciously or consciously treating them a certain way, looking at them a certain way, responding to them a certain way. I've seen it in my family. I've seen it in other people's families. I've watched it on the streets. I've seen it on TV shows and movies. We all have. So stop playing. Play with somebody else. But if y'all can't give me a direct answer of, would you be okay with a white woman telling this beautiful, dark-skinned African-American woman or a woman from the African diaspora that, oh, you're pretty to be dark. All I'm saying is you're pretty to have that skin tone. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Y'all be okay with a white woman saying that and keeping her job? No. So stop acting like you would. Colorism is an extension of racism, period. It's a little cousin. And that's something that we keep up in our community that is degrading in our community, which continues to separate us in our community, which is another reason why we're not strong and built like this. We still like this. So don't get on my internet telling me, oh, I hope God gets you for saying a woman should be fired for her remarks that she made on her job. Baby, I'm good. Me and God is solid. Hey, boo, how you doing? You so crazy. Let me get back to it. Go check somebody else, because, baby, you didn't even get close to checkmate over here. Telling me I need to heal from what? Look at this skin tone. Has anybody ever told me I'm pretty to be a peanut butter looking black woman? A caramel skinned black woman? Shut up. You sound stupid. Telling me to shut up. Telling me to go heal. Threatening me, baby. I'm in LA. DM me when you get here and I'll pull up. No problems. But like I said, the woman should be fired. Why? Because that's how you need to teach people. Just like we need to take this money from all these big corporations. Like if all the black NFL players and all the black NBA players didn't play for one whole season, do you know them owners would have to change and bow down? If all the black people who go see these sports events didn't show up for a whole season, do you know they would have to bow down? If we didn't shop at certain stores for a whole year, they would have to bow down. So don't come in here and tell me this little small thing you think this woman did while she's on the clock doesn't matter, because it does. This rant's over 4 minutes. I don't even get on the internet like that, but y'all got me hot in these comments because it's literally only lighter skinned black women telling me to calm myself down. Baby, you need to heal, clearly, because you think what she did was okay. You disgust me. Ferme la bouche. Y'all some trash. Trash. I said what I said. She needs to be fired. Period.
Please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. But please keep it respectful. Yeah, on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So go ahead and share your thoughts, okay? This topic of colorism is something that I've given some of story here, and this is a conversation that I really like to have. And some of you guys may not know, I am Nigerian. I live in Nigeria, and yeah, and one thing Nigerians are known for is bleaching. I don't know if you guys know, is bleaching. And some people will ask, oh, why? And this is because colorism is something that has been invented so much in our society and our culture. And I feel like generally in the black community, like universally, naturally, people with lighter skin are seen as being beautiful and all that. And I've shared this story here before where I said when I was much younger, I felt like I wasn't beautiful. And one of the reasons why I felt I wasn't beautiful was because I was dark skinned and I was the darkest in my house. Me and one of my sister were the two darkest in my house. The other were light skinned siblings. And there was this joke that they usually say, and come to think about it, that can actually mess up a child's mind. They usually say, because I'm the first child for my mom, they'll usually say like, oh, they used to take watch, but that's why you're not as fine as your younger siblings. And for me, yeah, it was just words that was talked and all that and joke around and laughed around. But it was something that internally like really made me felt very insecure in my skin. I didn't feel beautiful at all. And I feel like that actually made me really awkward as a young child growing up. But growing up and eventually finding out how this dynamic worked, I remember growing up, then I was in the uni. When I go to school and when you're in school, you don't really take care of yourself and all that, and you're a little bit darker. I remember you get home, they're like, oh, why are you looking so dark? They make it so much points that they always have to point out the skin. And then you see some people and they'll see you like, oh, you're so pretty for a black girl, or you're so pretty for a dark-skinned black girl. And I'm just like, black-skinned dark girls were beautiful. Like, I just feel like people don't, generally in the world, like generally, most people, I'm not going to generalize, most people in the world usually don't believe that a dark-skinned black girl can be beautiful. And that's why when they see a black girl like that is beautiful, like, oh, you're so beautiful. I'm like, okay. So I've had this conversation with some of my friends that were mixed and even from other country and other race. And they were like, oh, do you know you're so pretty for a black-skinned girl? I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, what does that, like that day I knew I had a lecture to give. I'm like, what does that mean? Look, Destiny, you're a very beautiful person. We like your personality and all that. And I'm just okay. And then you see some people that are not black people will come and say, "Oh, you are so beautiful. Oh, the black skin is so beautiful." I'm like, okay. I really don't like that. When somebody compliment me like, "Oh, black skin is so beautiful," I'm just like, okay, especially when you're not black. But when we talk about colorism in the black community, it's so embedded in us. And I know this goes on in Africa, this goes on in the Caribbean, this goes on in the African American community. I know this is something that goes on that naturally in our head. We've been brainwashed to think that people with lighter skin color are more beautiful, more attractive than us, and you're a dark skin and you're attractive, that is actually 1 out of 1 million. And that's why when coming from a black woman telling this to another black woman, it just really shows how even though we are learning, we are having conversation, I just feel like these are conversations we just have to keep having so that we unlearn and construct some of those internal things that they've put in our head to make us not feel beautiful, to make us feel less than the other person because of our skin color. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. But please keep it respectful. Here on this channel, we are allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So go ahead and share your thought. Please don't forget to share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go ahead and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting your girl. With that all said, guys, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.